Step right up and ring the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's gonna line to meet the METS Mets of New York. All the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets. Oh, they're hollering, they're cheering, and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets. All the fans are true to the orange and blue. So hurry up and come on down. Cause we got ourselves a ball from the Mets of New York town. Give them a yell. Give them a hand. And let them know you're rooting and you stand. Come on and meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Step right up and meet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. The east side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome. This is CP Cards and Dice, and welcome to another 1987 replay of the New York Mets. We're using Fast APBA, and this is your alternative streaming channel for reviews and chat and new products, game design, tabletop strategy, anecdotes, player profiles, history, news, tutorials, books, Topps baseball cards, and more. It starts at Mets. This is game 2 of a 2-game set. It's Mario Soto facing Rick Aguilera. Now I have these cool 1988 set of Topps baseball cards. And I'm noticing that these are some of the, fairly impressive pictures of every player where you can really see his face. I can remember each player. I mean, it really captures who the guy was and what he looked like. Not only that, there are action shots taken in the game. I mean, these are not posed. These are actual guys that are getting ready to field the ball. They just swung the bat. This is his classic swing right there. That's how he finishes. So these are really good cards, man. If you compare these cards to, let's say, 70s cards, which are horrible. Look at this. Look at these poses. It's just like, okay, pose. Look at that. All right, grab your bat and pretend you're batting. Here, kneel on one, and you're in the look. The guys. I mean, there's equipment on the baseball field. All right, these are horrible pictures. I mean, they're all from different distances. Terrible, man. Oh, look at this. Jesus, Hal McRae looks terrible in that picture. These are scary pictures. So, big, huge difference 10 years makes. Because this is 76, this is 88, 12-year difference, and that's a huge difference in terms of the technology and making a nice, taking a nice action shot. And they learned a lot more. They knew a lot more about photography. All right, so this is Fast APBA, and the way this works is that we have a scorecard, and the scorecard, hey there, sportsman. I have a scorecard with the rolls on it, so I won't be rolling in this game, and I won't be pulling any fast action cards. The rolls are already there. And I got my charts, because in APBA you need to have your charts. They're down there. And I got my cards laid out. It's the Reds at the Mets. It's Soto versus Aguilera. And we are right about to start the top of the third. It's 3-1 Mets, and it's going to be Soto. 24, and that's a fly to right, one down. Then it's a 22 Cal Daniels at 22, and that's going to be a ball that's driven into the left center field. That's going to bounce to the wall. In its second is Cal Daniels with a double. Next is Stillwell. Stillwell at 39. That's a 9. And a 9 with a runner on second and APBA. So you got to look at this book here, which is a pain in the. I wish APBA did pulled more of their results from the cards, but they never did that. That was Strat who did that. That's going to be a ground ball to third. Hojo up with it. Moving to third is the second, the man on second, Daniels. So 2 outs, runner on third. It's a 3-1 Mets lead. And now it's the Cobra, David Jean Cobra Parker, Jackson, Mississippi. And that's a 31, and a 31 is going to result in a 9. And that's going to be a fly ball, center field. On his horse is Dykstra, runs it down, and that retires the side. Now I'm trying to avoid touching the cards. That's why they're all laid out, and I got the Mets laid out as well on top of a little APBA board, a modern APBA board. It's really tiny. All right, and it's going to be Keith Hernandez, my main man, 55, and that's going to be line base hit for Keith Hernandez. So he's 1 for 2 on the day. After I do this on paper, I'm going to input it into iScore. So man on first, 61 for Carter. 61's a 24. That's a ground ball hit at shortstop. That's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. And shortstop. Who's the shortstop for the Reds? I'm learning this team. Oh, Stillwell. Kurt Stillwell to Oster to the first baseman. Terry Francona is playing first base today. Terry Francona. Darryl Strawberry. That's a 64, and that's going to be ball 4. So a 2-out walk to Darryl, who tripled in his first at bat in the first inning, drove in a run. So he's on at first. Next is Kevin McReynolds. That's a deep drive to left center field, and back goes Davis to the track, to the wall. That's gone. 2-run home run. And that's number 6 on the season. 5-1 Mets. 2 RBI, 2 more RBIs for Kevin McReynolds. Big addition to the Mets. And it's Hojo. And we roll a 12, and that's going to be a ground ball, second base. And that's going to retire the side. But the Mets pick up another 2 runs here in the bottom of the third. They lead it 5-1. All right, Davis. And that's going to be a 25 on Davis's card. We got to pull this here. And a 25 is going to be line base hit to left. Playing it in on a hop is McReynolds. Gets it into the shortstop, Hojo. Next is Bell, 61, and that's a hard hit ground ball right at Hojo. Flips to second baseman Backman. Back to Hernandez, 6-4-3 double play. 2 out. And now it's Bo Diaz, the catcher. And that's at 13. A 22 is going to be a ground ball to first. Flips to the pitcher covering, and that retires the side. So after the single, it's a double play and an out, and that retires the side. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 5-1 Mets. All right. It's going to be Dave Magadan, and that's going to be a 26. And that's going to be a strikeout. Oh, wait. He's an R, so an R means he doesn't get really a lot of strikeouts. So the strikeout becomes something else, becomes a fly out to center field. This is a Mario Soto pitching. He's a DR. This is Rick Aguilera next, and that's a 14, and that's going to be a ground ball to third base. Over to first, 2 down. 43 to Soto, fills his position, throws him out, 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the fifth now. It's 5-1 Mets, 1987 Mets. And Terry Francona, 54, and that's going to be a fly to right. Darryl Strawberry's out there. Next is Ron Oster, and that's a fly to center. Lenny Dykstra. And we're going to let the pitcher bat, 63. It's a fly to left. Bottom of the fifth. Let's see who the Mets are bringing up. Wally Backman. And I got everybody's card. This is kind of cool. I got everybody's card. With my Yankees team, my 76 Yankees, I didn't get everybody's card. I didn't get Willie Randolph, and I didn't get Jim Mason. But in this case, I got all the starters. Wally Bachman, Keith Hernandez, Gary Carter, Darryl Strawberry, Kevin McReynolds, Howard Johnson, Dave Magadan, who's not really – he's a part-timer. And of course, the pitcher, Rick Aguilera. So that's cool. All right, that's going to be a 56 Backman, and that's popped up to the shortstop. 1 down. Next is Keith Hernandez, a 43, and that's a comebacker. 2 down. And then it's a 32 to Carter. That's a ground ball, second base. Oster throws him out. 3 up, 3 down. So Mario Soto settled down for sure. He's retired a few in a row, at least 6 in a row. Let's see if he's retired more than that. Mario Soto's retired 7 in a row. And we go to top of the 6th. It's going to be Daniels with a 55, and that's going to be line base hit single for Daniels. He's on at first. Stillwell with a 46, and that's going to be a fly to right. Darryl Strawberry under it. And now it's Dave Parker, 46, strike 3, 2 down. And it's, I was going to say Chili Davis. No, it's Eric Davis. I thought he was going to be the next Willie Mays when I first saw him when he came to the league. He had some crazy years when he started, but he fizzled out quickly. 21, that's going to be strike 3. Back-to-back Ks. That's a third K of the game for Rick Aguilera. They leave 1, score none, and at the end of 5.5, it's 5-1 Mets. 87 Mets versus 87 Reds. Let's go Mets. Darryl Strawberry. Let's see what Darryl Strawberry. This is actually a really good card. That's Darryl Strawberry's finish right there. That's classic Darryl Strawberry's finish. If you've ever seen, hey there, who's there? Hey, Bob Franklin in the house. Philip Reynolds, the one and only. Salvador America. Who else is around? Tabletop Sports Delaware. All right, he is a royalty. Royalty is in the house. Oh my God, I've watched so many of his tutorials. All right, so where are we? Darryl Strawberry is up. That's going to be a 43. And we got to get the other trade. This is fast APBA. No dice, no cards. The dice rolls are written on the score sheet. 43, Darryl Strawberry. And that's going to be a comebacker to Soto. Throws him out. 1 away. Next is McReynolds. Kevin McReynolds. K-Mac. And that's going to be a 56. And that's going to be a pop-up to short. Stillwell under it. And it's Johnson. And a 31 is going to be ball 4. And Johnson's getting his lead. Throw over to first. Dave Magadan is up next. And that's foul back. And here's the pitch to Magadan. And there goes Johnson. Throw down, and he is safe. So Johnson, Hojo, steals second base with 2 outs. Mets are up 5-1 in the bottom of the 6th. And that's going to be a 14 on Magadan's card. That's going to be now not a strikeout because, again, he's an R. Oh, but with a runner on second, it is a strikeout. That's the first time I've seen that. Okay, there it goes. So an R is like a fairly new rating assignment. It's not the traditional from when the 70s, from when I was a kid in the 80s. The R, it means basically he didn't strike out many at all. So it's pretty much for a non-strikeout pitcher. And Mario Soto, who's a D, and I had to create his card using Steve's APBA card maker. And I got to remember to donate next time. I donated last month and try to donate every time I use it. And it's going to be Buddy Bell, 34. Here's the pitch from Rick Aguilera to Buddy Bell, and that's a fly ball center field on his horse is Dykstra, 6, and that's going to be strike 3. And that's the 4th strikeout for Aguilera. And next is Terry Francona, 55, and that's line base hit to right. Playing on a hop is Darryl Strawberry. And next is Ron Oster, 35, and that's going to be ball 2. We're going to have to pull a number. We got numbers here, right there. That's a 15, and that's going to be line base hit. And going to third is going to be Francona. So first and third, pitchers due up, so we're going to have a pinch hitter. going to have a pinch hitter in the top of the 7th with 2 outs, runners on first and third. And it's going to be, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Here are the cards. It's going to be Rick Aguilera is a righty, so it's going to be Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill is going to, you know what? Let me see. Yeah, Paul O'Neill is going to come in. He's going to pinch hit. All right, Paul O'Neill has got a 0.22, a 0.44. So fairly impressive. And that's going to be, looks like a 62. And that's going to be strike 3. And that retires the side. The Reds leave 2, score none. And at the end of 6.5, it's 5-1 Amazons. New pitcher now for new pitcher. It's going to be Rob Murphy. Rob Murphy's coming in. He's a B pitcher. He's going to BXZ. He's going to face the pitcher Aguilera. Here in the bottom of the 7th. It's 5-1 Mets. Let's go Mets. See if they can hold on to this lead. And that's going to be a 43 to Aguilera, and that's going to be a strikeout. Blows one by Rick Aguilera. Next is a 43. That's Dykstra, and that's strike 3. Call strike 3 on Dykstra. Back-to-back Ks by Murphy. What was his name? I don't write his first name. I think it's Rob Murphy. We'll check it out in a second. And it's Wally Backman. 21. Wally Backman, 21. That's a fly pop-up. Back goes the third baseman, Magadan. In comes the left fielder, McReynolds. McReynolds calls him off, and that retires the side. So after 7 complete, it's 5-1 Mets. Top of the 8th. Top of the 8th. In the top of the 8th, it's the top of the order. Cal Daniels. He's got a 1 at 11 and a 1 at 66. 6 at 22, 6 at 33. So he has his power numbers. He has 4 power numbers. That's pretty impressive. But right here, that's going to be a ground ball to Hojo. Throws him out. Next is Kurt Stillwell. Kurt Stillwell is 0 for 3. He rolls a 46. That's a fly to right. Darryl Strawberry there. And now it's Dave Parker, and that's strike 3. And that's strikeout number 5, number 6. 3 up, 3 down. Rick Aguilera. Looking impressive here on the mound for the Mets in New York. It's going to be Keith Hernandez leading it off for the Metropolitans against Rob Murphy. It's a B pitcher. They got 4 main grades, APBA does. They have A, B, C, and D. But we're playing fast APBA, and this is going to be a 33 on Hernandez's card, and that's going to be a second column result. So we're going to look for another extra number, and we have extra numbers somewhere here. There it is, 24. And that's going to be a ball that's pulled down the line into the right field corner. And after it is the right fielder, Dave Parker, and he's got an arm on him. He's got a cannon. So Hernandez is going to stay at second base with a leadoff double. So a leadoff double, and next is Gary Carter. That's a 65, and that's going to be popped up. With a runner at second, a pop-up. That's the third baseman. Third baseman is Buddy Bell. Next is Darryl Strawberry, 24, and that's a fly ball. Deep fielder back to the wall, makes the catch. That's Strawberry has 14 home runs in this is the 25th game of the season for the Mets. He's got 14 home runs. Hey, our Red Sox fan, how you doing, brother? Well, there's a good question, Al. There's a Excel spreadsheet that a guy on one of the forums, I think it was the APBA forum or the tabletop forum, he created, and whoever asked for it, he sent it out to whoever asked for it. and you just hit F9, or actually you just reload, and it pumps in new numbers, all new, brand new numbers. So I created a bunch of sheets. Look, I only have it on my work computer because I don't have Excel. I have 8 computers, but none of them have Excel. See? So all these have different numbers. You can't really see the numbers though. That's the thing. They're very light, so they don't get in the way of scorekeeping. But I have all these sheets, so I can play fast APBA, and it doesn't. Rolls take time. So anyway, McReynolds, and I have other games where I do a lot of rolling. So Kevin McReynolds with 2 outs. Hernandez at second base. Hernandez is 2 for 4 today, and Kevin McReynolds now steps in the batter's box, and here's the pitch to McReynolds, and that's a fly ball left field towards the line, and that's McDaniels, or is it Daniels? It's Daniels, and makes the catch. So after 8 complete, it's Mets 5 and Reds 1, 1987. This is the second game of a 2-game set. I was talking about these amazing cards. I mean, these are really nice action shots. I mean, he's batting in a game. I mean, the crowds, everybody's, it's a packed stadium here. And this is Hojo. I mean, you can see really, really clear pictures of what they look like, but they're also in action. I mean, these are great. I mean, it was a good photographer. Whoever did this was a professional photographer, that's for sure. And it's way better than the 76 cards that are a joke. Look at this. Every stadium is empty. I mean, they're just telling them to stand there and smile, and then they take this close-up of these guys that are all kind of sweaty and scruffy, and it's not pretty. This is a horrible picture of Jim Catfish Hunter. I mean, probably one of the great pitchers of the 70s, particularly of the late 60s and early mid-70s, and they make him get down in a very awkward. It looks like he's taking a dump. I mean, this is terrible. And then you got Sandy Alomar, you got Rich Coggins. Like every background is a different shade, just not good. The lighting is terrible. He's got a big white spot on his forehead. Sparky Lyle in an empty stadium. The glove is bigger than he is. Elliot Maddox, I don't know where he's going. Looks like he's getting ready to go to Disney World. Rudy May, look at Rudy May's shot. Rudy May is stunned. He looks like he's drunk. Fred Stanley, that's awkward. Oh, this is palm trees. Wait a second. This is spring training in Florida, man. This is like March, early March, Florida. Ed Herman. This is Ron Bloom. Look at Ron Bloomberg's picture. Look at his hair. What happened over here? It must have been like one of those dry Florida hurricane winds that kicked up while they were taking this picture. I mean, come on, to give the guy a chance to look at the picture at least and say, hey, you want me to retake it? This card is gonna. I mean, this card's been around for 50 years. This poor guy looks at this card and is like, man, this is shameful. Larry Gura, he's like, oh man, I'm so glad to be in the majors. Look at this guy. He looks like what's his face on Saturday Night Live? The guy who did Ron the sportscaster. Look at this. Pat Dobson looks exactly like this guy. This actor. What's his face? That plays Ron something. Oh man, I can't remember. It's a hilarious name. Yes, Will Ferrell. Look, this is Will Ferrell. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at the hair. What is that? And look at the hat. It's like sideways. He's like Rodney with the hat sideways. What's going on? Rick Dempsey. He's in an empty one. Oh, all right. Let me get my batting stance. I only bat 30 times a year. Dick Tidrow. This kid is an angry kid. He's ginormous. But his pants are all the way up to his chest. What's going on? He's like Urkel. Dick Tidrow, the meanest, ugly, scruffiest looking guy, is got his pants up to his chest, like. And then Bobby Bonds, he's like, why am I in a Yankee uniform in this card when I'm playing with the Angels now? So anyway, these are terrible, terrible pictures. Now you compare them to 1988. This is a set I bought from 1988. It would cost me $15 or $20. Gorgeous, every single player. I mean, it's clear, and clean, crisp, clear action photos from the game. I mean, you can tell by these guys. These guys are the positions they actually field in. This is not a practice. This is not a coach hitting you grounded. This is you're in the game and you're focused, and you can tell that. These are gorgeous pictures. Anyway, I'm sorry I digress. Hojo, let's see where we are. It's bottom of the ninth, so it's going to be top of the ninth. Aguilera, we're going to try to push Aguilera, see if we can get a complete game out of him. He's played great. He's allowed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. We're going to try to push him to get a complete game out of Rick Aguilera. It's like a no-hitter nowadays to get a complete game, right? It's like you get one complete game. Your ace starter gets one complete game for the whole season. He's obviously going fishing. Yeah, he's going fishing. All right, let's see. We got a 66 here on Eric Davis. That's a deep drive. But wait, where is Eric Davis? Top of the ninth, right? We already finished the bottom of the eighth. Yep. All right, Eric Davis, and that's swung on and driven deep to left center field, and back goes McReynolds, and that's gone. So it's a 5-2 ball game now. Home run, Eric Davis, and that's his third hit of the game. Now, I remember when I went to see Eric Davis at Shea Stadium, and I think it was 89, I believe. 89, 90, or 91. I went there specifically to see him. I said, this center fielder, man, he was a monster at that time. I think it was one of these seasons. I mean, he's got a great card here. He's got a 1-11, 1-66. He's got a 6-22. I mean, this guy was stealing bases. I said, this guy's going to be the next Willie Mays, and I got to go see him when he's young. But nope, he fizzled out. So next is Buddy Bell, and that's going to be a fly ball lifted to left. Towards the line as McReynolds makes the catch, one away. Next is Baudilio, Jose, Venezuela, Caracas, Cannon, Diaz, the catcher. And we call him Bo Diaz for short. And that's a 56, and that's strike 3. And that's strikeout number 7 for Aguilera. And now it's Terry Francona, and that's a 13. That's going to be a 37, which is a foul ball, foul back. A lucky fan gets a souvenir. Terry Francona. Here's the pitch, and we're going to have to grab a new number, and numbers are 41, and that's going to be ground ball, hit up the middle, and Hojo gets to it, throws on the run, and he is safe. No, out at first. Great play by Hojo, and that's the ball game. So the Mets pull it out. They win it by a score of 5-2. 5-2. And Rick Aguilera is going to get the win. And let's see. Keith Hernandez went 2 for 4 in this game. Backman went 1 for 4. Dykstra went 1 for 4. 0 for 3 for Carter with an RBI. Strawberry went 1 for 3 with an RBI triple. McReynolds hit his, I think it's his 6th home run of the year. He went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. 0 for 2 for Johnson, a walk and a stolen base. 1 for 3 for Magadan. And then it's Rick Aguilera was 0 for 2. Well, wait a second. 0 for 2, but he gets victory. He strikes out 7. Allows 8 hits, goes 9, gives up 2 earned runs. He's going to pick up the win. So that's fast APBA. That's fast APBA, and that's a 2-game set that I'm running. The 87 Mickeys. You know, I'm a New York kid. I'm from Queens. I'm from Jackson Heights, Queens. And that's where I grew up, and I still visit there every year. And I go to Citi Field, and I go to the old, hangouts. I go to the pizza shop at 73rd Street and 37th Avenue. I go to White Castle on 88th Street and Northern Boulevard. These are the places that I grew up visiting, and I still go there, and I grab a slice, and I'll grab a couple White Castles at night after a Met game. And I still relive the past that way. But the past is getting farther and farther away, my friends. So I'm going to put away APBA Basic. APBA Basic is like these. This is like a game for like a 7-year-old. But I loved it when I was a kid. So I have a deep love and fondness for APBA Basic. So I continue to play my 87 replay. And Mets are doing great. So that, of course, encourages me. If they were had a horrible record, I'll be like, why am I doing this? And they're going to play a 3-game set versus the Atlanta Falcons next. They're going to play against the Atlanta Falcons next. And I got to pull out the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to pull out their cards. I have to set up all the cards by team. These are gorgeous. I mean, $15. You can't go wrong. I think it was $15 and $10 shipping. So it's about $25 for the whole season. But I get to see these players, which I haven't seen in years and years. I mean, I remember faintly. I remember them as a kid. But I haven't seen them in a long time, the 87 faces of the Mets, who they had a great little mini dynasty there. They should have been in the World Series in 88. They just missed going to the World Series. They lost in Game 7 to the Dodgers. And the Mets were highly favored that season. And it wasn't there. They just bad luck, man. Just bad luck. So, I got to put this away. Hold on a second. All right, so I'm getting the Mets putting away. Then I'm going to set up another game, guys. I'm going to set up a inside pitch game. We're playing Game 3 of a Kansas City, New York at Kansas City. It's going to be Dennis Leonard, 17-10 with a 3.51 ERA against Rudy May, the lefty, the southpaw, 15-10 with a 3.72 ERA. Ends up with Baltimore in 1976. So he starts off with the Yankees, but ends up with the Baltimore Orioles. Don't ask me why. And I think I put the wrong. Let's see. Oh no. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, I put the Reds with the Mets. Let's fix that. There it is. That's New York, 1987. And now I'm going to put the Reds away. Cincinnati Senior Circuit. I picked these cards up for, I think, season. You can get really good deals on seasons of APBA if you just kind of look around. I bought like 12 seasons for $120. Yep. I bought one season off a guy. It was like, I bought it for $17. And then it was like $6 shipping. And I said, all right. And then he said, hey, by the way, I got like 11 more seasons. If you want, send me just $120 and I'll send them all to you. And that includes shipping. And that's what he did. He sent me 12 seasons for $120, including the one I had bought for like $20. So that was a great deal. And I still have a lot of those sets. I sold some, but I still have a lot of them. I don't play APBA that much, and I'll never play APBA that much. So I only need 1 or 2 seasons, simply because they don't have left to righty splits. The results aren't off the cards. Those things are must-haves for me. You got to have the splits. You got to have most of your results, like 90% of your results off the card. I want you to go through the pitcher. APBA has like basically 4 grades, even though, if it's an A and C and A and B pitcher, and I guess you could say it's 6 grades, but then they say, well, if it has an X, it's an extra grade. If it has an XY, it's an extra grade. If it has XYZ, it's an extra grade. If it has an XYZZ, it's an extra grade. Not really, sort of, but not really. But it's very limited. There's no real pitcher, interaction. So that's one aspect of it I just moved that to a different spot, and it became all where you could read it. That's weird. So this is there you go. And now my camera is like pulsating. It's like Dracula. If Dracula can visualize somebody's veins, the blood pumping in somebody's veins, just let me see if I could add something in there so it can focus on something. No, that didn't work. How about this? We're trying. ID Gesture has the same issue. Is he around? There he is. ID Gesture. I can't figure this out, dude. This is a pain. There, it's settled down now. I finally got the camera to focus in on something and settle down. All right, so I'm going to set up my the next game, take a little break, and then I'll be back. And I have the set. We can laugh at the 76 cards, which are horrible, not worth the money. I don't recommend anybody buying the 76 set. I think 77 are actually a little bit better. And then you go older sets. I mean, yeah, it's the same theory, and even simpler. The older sets are just like, again, guys in spring training just posing, and they're horrible pictures, and they have the most awkward like stances and positions, and they hold their glove. They look like it's not pretty, man. It's not pretty. But I got a 1970 set, and I got to show you guys. I'm going to break that out when I go back. And this weekend, I'm going to play payoff pitch my 1969 season, which I'm using ball score to record my stats. Here with this game, I'm using iScore, so I'm inputting everything on iScore. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back in a little while, and we'll replay a inside pitch, 1976 inside pitch. Dennis Leonard versus Rudy May in Kansas City. This is CP Cards and Dice. Remember, guys, this is your alternative streaming channel for chat and new products, game design, tabletop strategy, anecdotes, rants, player profiles, history, news, tutorial, books, tops, baseball cards, and more. And I'll rant right now before I go. Had a long discussion with another guy who's a Strat fan, and the more I meet these guys and the more I talk to these guys, I'm going to tell you, it's turning me off from the game. These guys are nasty people. I'm like, all I want them to do is give me all the cards for a season and offer me all the seasons I want. No. Well, what do you mean no? No, they don't do that. They don't think it's feasible. I said, so what do you care? They're doing what they want rather than what I want. And I'm the guy who's paying them. Oh, they can't make money that way. I say, but what are you worried about it? What do you mean they can't make money? How do you know? I mean, every other company's making money doing that. They're all offering PDFs. I mean, no. And I go, why would you care? It's like, you take me to a restaurant that offers a fish sandwich, and I'm like, I want chicken. And you're like, no, they can't make it. And I go, well, how do you know? Are you in the kitchen? I mean, why can't they make it? I mean, I'm sure there's people in here, and they want more than just a chicken sandwich every day. And I asked the guy next to me, he says, yeah, I want a burger. And another guy wants a steak, and another guy wants a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And the guy who took me to the place says, no, they only do chicken sandwiches. They're not going to do anything more for you. I go, why? It's like there's no logic behind it. Like, you don't want me to have what I want, yet I want you to have what you want. I don't understand that. It's like so selfish. I've never heard anything about. I've never seen anything like it. The whole logic and argument behind it is to find justifications for a company that won't give people what they want. And I talk to guys all the time. They're always contacting me. They're saying, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I feel the same way. But you can't ask anybody. Like, if you go to a forum and they're like, excuse me, they have a sale now, but I'm like, what am I going to buy? I want the 1986 set. I want the 1985 set. I want the 1998 set. I want the 2001 set. They don't have them. Okay. So it's a buy one, get another one 50% off, but I have all the sets that they're selling that I'm interested in. And then the guy says, oh, they sold out of 1953. I don't care about 1953. Those guys didn't even play with gloves. That's okay if you like 1953. I got nothing against you. I don't care if every card maker on the planet makes 1953. If you want 1953, I'm going to fight for you to get 1953. I'm not going to fight for you against you to get 1953. I'm not going to say, no, the company can't do that. Oh, no, forget it. I'm going to ban you from my forum because you want them to create 1953, and I don't like 1953. I never heard of such a thing. Why would I care if you get 1953? I'm on your side. You're part of a community. Okay, we're part of a community. You're a community member. This is a brotherhood, dude. We don't have millions of people across the world that are doing this. We got a handful of guys that are active, and we got another handful of guys that come and partake and go back and forth and talk with us and encourage us. And that's what we got. All we have is each other. Why would I ever stop a company from serving or providing you with what makes you happy. Why do you have to wait 10 years if we're still around 10 years from now? Right? If we're still, we don't even know who's going to be around. We don't know if we're going to be around next year. We're 50 years old. We're 60 years old. Some of us aren't in the best shape. I don't know what's going on. I got to take this call because somebody's bringing me some chicken strips. Yeah, hello? Text her. I'm in a different room. Well, just get it. She wants bone-in. Bone-in barbecue. Blah blah blah. So anyway, that's my rant. I mean, it's ridiculous. But the arguments are mind bending. It's like they'll every absolute justification after justification, excuse after excuse why the company can't. Oh, they've been around 60 years, so they must know what they're doing. Why? I mean, I don't understand that. There's a lot of things that have been around longer than 60 years, and they're still horrible. Okay, I mean, think about it. Think about it. I mean, you got rape, you got murder, you got plunder and pillage, and you got assassinations. They've been around all the time. Why does that mean? That means nothing because something's existed for a long time. It doesn't mean anything because you can exist. You can be in a time capsule, in a time warp, and you could be doing the same thing, and you have the same 24 people, okay, supporting you blindly, compliant, worshiping you, and why? Do you know that if Stratomatic closed down tomorrow, I guarantee you that we would have every single season available on better cards, PDF, by the next day, for $10 a PDF, for $45 a card set, with every player included. I guarantee it because we're not morons. Our community is not made up of morons. Okay, we know how to figure out probabilities. We know how to do what column with six columns with 2 to 12 rows, and then figure out how to get a guy's average to be 300, which is 3 out of 10. Come on, you don't have to be a brain surgeon for that. Look at Status Pro. Status Pro went out, and I grant you that he gave away his recipe, if you will, to his algorithm to creating those systems, and he was very generous, and he actually included it in all the rule sets in case you want to make your own cards. I mean, he was a cool guy, all right. But you get everything, and this I'm talking about the day after the World Series. You get every player. And there's a couple of guys, 2 or 3 guys that are out there on eBay doing that. And you get every player. If you want to buy the card set, you can do it, $45. Guys, another argument is, oh, I don't like PDFs. What the hell do I care if you like PDFs? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying only create PDFs and don't create the cards. I'm not saying that. You can still have your cards, but I can have my PDFs in case I want them. I'm not a big PDF lover, but I'm telling you, if I want to get a PDF, I want the opportunity. Look at Inside Pitch. Inside Pitch offers you the cards. They offer you the PDFs. They offer you the cards in black and white. They offer you the cards in color. They offer you so many options. It's 2020, guys. 2020. If you don't demand, okay, then why is the company ever going to be there and provide it? If you don't speak out, if you're like, basically willing to accept anything without question, I mean, why is the company ever going to be compelled? Or they didn't even listen. I just read an article the other day that in 2008 they didn't have a computer game, and they had to twist their arm to get a computer game in 2008, and then they start. And the computer game that they have, it's like DOS prompt back in 1991. But it's better. At least they said, well, there's money in this. Somehow they got convinced. Popular. They were like, well, it's been 20 years and everybody's playing computer games and we don't have a computer game. So let's find somebody that can create a basic computer game that doesn't cost us too much. We can still charge. Their prices are not bad. I mean, I'm not complaining about their system. I'm not complaining about their prices. I'm not even complaining. All I'm saying is, if I speak to 10 guys and 10 guys want X, Y, Z, I mean, offer it. You got nothing to lose. You don't have to produce them. And guys say, oh, they don't have warehouse space. You don't need warehouse space for a PDF, idiot. Okay, you don't need that. These are the conversations and the arguments that I'm constantly hearing. It's mind bending to me. Why would you need a warehouse to store a PDF? Explain that to me. Please explain that to me and contact me at combatpainter at gmail.com or combatpainter. Yeah, I know I'm ranting because I had this discussion with this guy, and I'll read you his argument. I'll read you his argument right here. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to read you his name because I respect people's privacy, but I'll read you his argument. And his argument so infuriated me. I was like, what's going on? APBA chatter. I love your 19. APBA chatter's got good stuff going. Look up Rise and Fall of America's Card Company. I will. I'm going to check that out. I got some messages here. APBA Brian is in the house. Hey there. Look, I'm gonna read you. This is the argument that I constantly am faced with, and they make you into social pariah, but you're actually like their game. I mean, I like all games. Okay, so I have nothing against their game. I have nothing against their design. I'm not even gonna say, oh, it's a 50-50 game, and I don't like a 50-50. No, I don't care about it's a 50-50 game. I like that I can play with my son. That's all I care about, right? Let me read you. Let me read you the argument. His argument. I'm not going to read you my argument. You already know that. Okay, so this is first of all out of the blue. I think we started this conversation like a month ago. Okay, this is the first thing he says to me. You're gonna love this. Pretty long. I mean, but if you want to listen to it, listen to it. Otherwise, you can. All right. Well, we will never agree on this topic, and that's cool. As long as you're rolling bones, you're okay with me. Sam, although far from perfect, produces the best product, no comment, at very reasonable price. For example, their game charts are cheap, disgraceful, really, but I can laminate them and they're fine. Again, making excuses. A terrible product, but I can fix it. Okay, I do that. I change things. They have every right to run their business in the way they see most profitable. Who's saying they don't have the right to do what they want? See, this is a straw man argument. You're arguing against something that I'm not making that argument, right? I'm not making that argument. Okay, I'm not saying they don't have the right to run their business the way they want. I'm not saying that. They can run the bit, but I have the right. Don't take my rights away to say, hey, this is what I want. Okay, but that's what you're trying to do by banning me or by censoring me or just the whole conversation, the whole discussion, and the illogic of it. They have the right to run their business in the way they see most profitable, and you have the right to go somewhere else. You don't have to tell me what my rights are. Of course, I have the right to tell me to go somewhere else. That's not the point. Okay, the point is that they couldn't give crap about you or about me because. And how do you know that they're being profitable and they're doing great? Because they've been around 60 years. How do you know they can't make more profit by offering more product? All right. They're not a public utility. Okay. Who has to meet the customer's needs? This is his argument. So he's arguing in favor of a corporation, a company, but his argument is they don't have to do what you want. You have no voice in this. You have to accept it or go. You don't have the right to speak out and make it and speak what you believe would satisfy your tabletop enjoyment, your tabletop entertainment. I don't understand that argument. Why are you giving them all the rights? You see, because we've been programmed to think that only the corporations have a voice. Okay, what individuals say, well, there's something wrong with you. If you're not accepting the drink that Coca-Cola puts on your table, there's something wrong with you. You're an extremist. You're a pariah of some kind. All right, that's what's going on here. This is typical brainwashing, typical programming that goes on in our society, in the system under which we live. This is mind-bending, that now consumers don't have a right to voice their desires. Okay, the argument is that no, the corporation does what they want. If you don't like it, go your own way. You don't have a right to ask them for anything. What are you talking about? And any corporation does not adjust to the demands of the market. I don't understand how they can continue to be profitable unless they have a cult following like Jim Jones. Remember Jim Jones took like 900 followers to Guyana and they all drank Kool-Aid and they all killed themselves in the jungle. All right. And they took a couple of American congressmen with them when they went down to visit and find out why all these people had disappeared. This is what's going to happen with Sam. They're going to take all their followers all the way to the jungles in Guyana, and they're going to well, they're drinking Kool-Aid already. I just hope they don't put anything dangerous in the Kool-Aid. Okay, so he continues in this argument. The only one gouging are the sellers on the secondary market. Okay, I don't disagree with that. But the only reason those sets command the prices they do is supply and demand. Yes, artificial supply and demand created by the company that doesn't provide us with the products that we want at a reasonable price. Okay, they're the cause that people are paying $200, $300, $400, $500, and I wouldn't be surprised that the guys who are running this are the ones selling those sets. Okay, because they're never ending amounts of sets that are going on. 76, 77, well, not 77, 76, 78. There's a bunch of sets constantly being sold for $400, $300, $280, right, on eBay. I wouldn't be surprised if the same guys who are running this company have a side business that they're popping these sets onto eBay and getting $300 for them because we have money. Our subset, our demographic has money. We're not complaining about the price. I haven't said anything about the $60 price for the cards or the $80 price or whatever it is. I couldn't care really, about the price of these products. Charge what you want, but give us access to the thing. And of course, don't go overboard because there's a lot of guys on fixed incomes here. All right, I'm speaking for all of us. I mean, there's a lot of guys on fixed incomes, and I'm protecting your interests. So he continues to say no other games card sets hold that kind of value. He's talking about, of course, that they're going for $300 and $400. They don't hold that kind of value. So what? This is a game. This is a tabletop game. This is not to gouge each other and to start selling sets for $400, $600, $800, $912. Why? Why are we doing that to each other? That makes no sense. This is a game where you roll dice and you have some fun. You spend some time with your family, or you spend some time with yourself, and that's all it's about. You're not going to take it in your coffin with you. You're not going to leave. You're not going anywhere with your games. So look at all those games that you have piled high in your office, in your garage, in a room in your house, wherever you have that. Okay, you're not taking them with you. They're going to go to Goodwill, or they're going to be sold by somebody in your family on eBay, or something, or there's going to be an aggressive collector that says, I'll give you $2,000 for his 30, 40 games that are worth $8,000, and I'll sell them. Okay, that's what's going to happen to our games. So don't think that anything's going to happen. So that's because the game engine and gameplay is superior. This is what this guy says. Again, he's making arguments. If I was saying it's inferior, then I could see him trying to convince me that it's superior. But I never said it's an inferior game. That's not my argument. All I'm saying is provide us with PDFs, provide us with every single card. That's all I'm saying. And you don't have a cogent argument as to why I can't demand that and why all the other guys who are demanding this can't do it. So, by the way, have you looked at what a full set of APBA cards, okay, and then he says some expletives about APBA. I'm not going to mention those. Cost these days? I know what APBA costs. Okay, so I don't care about APBA. We don't care about we're not talking about APBA. That's another argument. You're mixing apples and oranges here. All right. So anyway, this is and this goes on, and then he goes on to say, all right, with all the extras and the computer game for about $50 with one of their annual sales, that's pretty darn reasonable. Again, he's talking about Song, so that Song prices are not that bad. And that was never, I never alluded to issues with some prices saying, oh, they're overpriced. No, I don't care about that. That's never part of my argument. All I'm saying is provide us with all the teams. So before we die, we can play the teams we want. Why do we have to super advanced cards? Which a lot of really good, nice guys like playing super advanced. And I respect that. So anyway, and then he goes on for another long, the only reason Strat doesn't make all seasons available at one time is that they don't see it's profitable. It's that simple. By the way, have you ever printed and cut out a PDF baseball season which included 900 individual players? No, thanks. I recently printed one out in 1972 Pirates team, a favorite team from the past, using some net play program because I wanted a set that looked like the newer cards with all the super advanced ratings on the cards. Took me at least 20 minutes to type in each card, including pitcher, hitting cards for that season. It took me probably 12 hours over the course of several weeks to complete one team. The cards came out beautifully, but it certainly gave me a renewed appreciation for the sets that come all printed and perforated. I think I'm in an ulterior universe. So he's actually complaining that he hates PDFs, but then at the same time, he's arguing in favor of them not producing all the card sets. He's saying that he's saying that I wanted the 1972 Pirates team, right, in super advanced. They don't make that, so he couldn't buy it. So he went through all this trouble, which he's complaining about. It took him 12 hours to do one team. So he's actually arguing in favor of what I'm arguing for, but he still doesn't get it. I mean, they're making arguments because it's like somebody who falls into the water and you jump in after them because they don't swim. You jump in after them to try to save them, and they grab you and they take you down with them. That's what these guys are like. These arguments are about somebody who's in desperate. In a desperate condition, and they're trying to save their own life. And when you jump in or give them or offer them a hand, they take you down with them. It's that guy that the lifeboat is full, and he swims up to the lifeboat and he flips the lifeboat over, and 12 people that were on the lifeboat drown. That's what the reasoning that these guys are using against us. All right, and this is mind-boggling to me, dude. And it's really frustrating because you like the game, but you know what? You can't. It's not. All these the people who are mindlessly, unabashedly, myopically defending, something that is indefensible is a huge turnoff. It's like I don't want to talk about it anymore, because there's something wrong with you. Why would you? I want you to have what you want. Why would you not want me to have what I want? I don't understand that. It's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I can't have anything because you don't want to have anything, or you don't think you deserve anything. Well, I think I deserve something, and I think I can ask for it, and I shouldn't be run out of town because I'm saying, hey, I think these should be open discussions on all the forums. But no, guys complain to the moderators. Guys go nuts. They complain to the moderators, and it's a big to do, and they ban you. And then the moderators complain. Say, I'm getting a lot of emails here from a guy. What happened? The guy said that he wanted them to produce 1976. Oh, you can't do that. You can't. Oh, no. We don't do that here. What? I never heard of this. This is crazy, dude. So people are getting banned left and right constantly. They're afraid to speak out. Everybody is shaking in their boots. This is like, this is the worst kind of censorship. Because censorship is not burning books. Censorship is when you're banned, you're ostracized, you're marginalized, you're pushed out. Your voice is made silent because because the powers that be don't see it as profitable for you to say, you know what, you're not giving me what I want. And that's really what it's all about. That's real censorship, man. That is veiled censorship. Okay, that is disguised censorship. They don't go out and with a whiteout and cross out what I wrote on the forum. No, they just zap the whole thread, right? Or they ban you, right? Or whatever they want to do. And why? You never said anything bad about the company. You never said, hey, please produce these items, which there is a demand for. I guarantee it. If there wasn't a demand, they wouldn't have sold out in 1969. They wouldn't have sold out in 1973. They wouldn't have sold out in 1977. They wouldn't have sold out in 1971, which they had to bring back after guys were paying $200 and $300 and $400 on eBay for, because you never knew that they were going to bring them back. But now they can't be trusted, because I guarantee you, Guys are buying 78s, guys are buying 76s, guys are buying 75s, and they're paying $200, $300, $400, and tomorrow they're going to come out with super advanced, and you won't be able to sell that set for 40 bucks because nobody's going to want an old set that doesn't have. It has nostalgia. It has that but they're not going to pay those prices if they can get a super advanced set and they still want to play. And I'm telling you, that's just a fact. You're not going to be able to sell it. Once the company comes out with a season, and you just paid, you paid $130 or $160 for 1986, and they come out with the 1986 super advanced season, nice and fresh and hot off the and off the presses, and it's got all the super advanced ratings on it. They're not going to want to go back to those white cards. I have guys. I traded a 2017 season or 2015. I don't know, one of those, just a recent season, for a 1969 original two-sided card set. I don't think it's an original. It's the second, the reprint, but it just had the white cards and it had the two sides, the basic and the advanced side. That's all that I traded straight up. Okay, and I got that set for 20 bucks, and they traded me theirs because they didn't want theirs. They said, I only play super advanced. So if I'm going to I already have 69 super advanced. I don't want this one. So guys are actually giving those away. They don't want them. So anyway, I think I had my say, and this all came about because of this discussion I had with a gentleman online. It was a discussion that we started a month ago, and all of a sudden today I looked at my phone and he had come on. I guess he had seen it, he had discovered and said, "Oh man, I never responded to this guy. Let me tell him how I feel." And those were the same. He rehashed the same old arguments that he can't have what he wants, but he doesn't want me to have what I want either. When I want him to get what he wants, and I want to get what I want. Okay, but here's the opposite. In other words, he wants to basically, cut off his nose to spite his face. Is what he's doing. He's limiting my choices, and then he's telling me, "Oh, if you don't like it, you don't have to buy from them." No, that's not. It's like if I don't like something and I speak out, I got to leave the country. Why? What do you think? The founding fathers never spoke up against the British? The British were the installed government. They were the official government. And they spoke out. They said, "Hey, this government's terrible. This is taxation without representation. What's going on here?" Right? They spoke out. Why is it un-American to speak out when you see something unjust? Why is it un-American to speak out when you see something that's wrong? Why is it un-American? Why is it un-American to speak out when you see something unethical? Why? All of a sudden, if you speak out against the way things are, there's something wrong with you. It's not the system. It's wrong with you. Well, no. None of my community members, there's nothing wrong with any of them, including the guys that make these innanes, narrow-minded, small-minded arguments, fighting for a corporation, really is what you're doing, that is not offering you what you want. There's the only people that benefit from this artificially set up limiting supply are these sellers that are hoarding stuff, or they're producing, or they're printing their own. They have systems where they're printing these cards. I can guarantee you 100% that there are guys printing these cards. Both they create templates, and they have both sides of the card. They create cards, and every month they put a new 300 set. They do it in their house, or they do it at their job, and it doesn't cost them anything, and they make $300 every month, and they put out a couple of sets that nobody has, and that's what's going on. And those are the guys who are benefiting at our expense. But there's a lot of guys that can't play the seasons I'm doing 76. I'm doing Inside Pitch. I'm going to continue to do Inside Pitch. And I'm going to do advertising for Inside Pitch. Why? Because Inside Pitch, at least, is a modern company that's offering people what they want. Now, a lot of times, some small companies can't offer people what they want because they're a one-man operation. All right. But believe it or not, there's a lot of really good. Payoff Pitch is an amazing one-man operation. It's amazing, and they got a beautiful website, and they give you choice after choice, and they're offering tons of seasons. All right, and they offer every player. Okay, so there's a lot of. This is like the golden era of tabletop baseball gaming, or sports gaming, if you will. There's a lot of guys out there doing boxing and doing football and doing that. That's fine. That's not my thing, but that's fine. And I encourage them, and that's fine, man. You'll never hear me saying, "Oh, I don't like boxing." whatever. If you like boxing, hey, more power to you, and enjoy yourself. I mean, life is short. And that's my talk for tonight. For now, I'm going to come back a little while. I know I wore myself out a little bit with this rant, but this is CP Cards and Dice. Let me look and see quickly if I have any comments for anybody. ID Jester, this guy's you're texting is a loser. Just printed out the 2019 NPNG set and cut out my cardstock paper. It took a few hours, and I saved tons of money. Well, you know what? Again, look. ID, if you're still around, I'm not saying PDF. This is another discussion that I've had. There's guys that are very adamant that PDF is the way to go. Okay, I respect that. If you want PDF, you get PDF. If I don't want PDF today, I don't have to be forced to do it. PDF is a choice. It's like a menu. Like we go to eat at Outback. Not that I would go to eat at Outback. I hate that place. But let's say we did. There's a menu. You don't have to eat what I eat, and I don't have to eat what you eat. You don't have to drink what I drink. I don't have to drink what you drink. You drink what you want. And if they don't have something that you want, you know what? When you ask for it, I'm going to be like, yeah, why don't you have that for my buddy? I'm not going to be like, no, they don't have to give you that. Why would they have to provide you with what you want? That's ridiculous. No, you gotta eat or drink whatever they have and be thankful for it, right? And kiss their feet. Well, no, guess what? I'm not kissing anybody's feet. I'm telling you that what you're doing is wrong. You're not listening to people who are speaking out, all right? And this is hurting your business, guaranteed. I speak to guys all the time that only have negative comments to make, all right? And I hear them. I hear them perfectly. And their arguments are all the same. They don't give me all the cards. And, the computer game is not that great. And they say a lot of stuff that I hear what they're saying. I got the computer game. I bought it. All right. I saw what it is. It is what it is. It's a computer game. I'm not going to go there. That's not what I'm about. I'm about getting what we want. Offer us every season like every other civilized modern company. Offer every season in PDF so you don't have to print them out because you have limited warehouse space. And by the way, I was in the warehouse in Queens. Okay. And the place was empty. They had tons of space, tons of empty space. All right. And so when you say that, oh man, they're wall-to-wall sets. No, they're not wall-to-wall sets. They print a handful of sets because they know exactly how many they sell. Sometimes they run out because guys are hoarding them and guys are buying 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 sets. That's what happened. That's why they reprinted those sets because guys were buying them out. They bought out all the sets, like 69. They bought out all the sets, and now they put 69 on for $120, $140. They paid $47, or if they got a deal, they paid $40 for it. Now they're selling it for $120. So they're going to come out with 1969 again. All right, because they don't, Anyway, so that's the deal. All right, so offer us PDFs, offer us every card. In however you want to offer it as a PDF. So I can pay you $15, $20 for the fringe player set. So I can have every player, that one guy that had that one at bat and he struck out, I want him. I want an official Stratomatic card for him. That's right. All right. It's not what you want to provide. It's what I'm willing to pay for. If you're in business to make money. Okay. And for me to print, it doesn't cost you anything to put the data because you have every season. I can understand these guys with a new company that they have to create the season from scratch, and they're a one-man operation, and they can't press enter and have the computer algorithm software prepare the card set. They're not there yet, so I get it. They got to do it by hand. They got to make sure, they got to check everything out. It's a whole process. I get that but you have all the seasons. You've created all the seasons since the 1950s and before. You have seasons that you've made. Offer them all. Make money. All right? Make money. You're going to be happier. You're going to sleep. Okay? You're not going to be, holding everybody's life up from enjoying your game. And that's it. I mean, there's urgency here, guys. There's urgency. Okay, like I said and like I explained, we're talking about guys in their mid-40s and their mid-50s and their mid-60s and their mid-70s. All right, we're dropping like flies, man. We're not going to live forever. You don't know how many of our guys we're going to lose in the next year, the next 2 years, the next 5 years, the next 7 years, the next 10 years. Cancer and heart disease. All right. There's opioid crisis is going on in America. You have alcoholism. You have kidney disease. You have all these different diseases that are attacking people. I mean, and not all our guys are the most healthy guys. They're not like Jack LaLanne. They're not working out, all the time. They're not eating right. Okay. They're not drinking right. They're not doing, we're not, so you have to keep that in mind. So why are you holding up? Offer your sets while we're still around to buy them, because we're your only market. You're not going to have 10,000 guys coming up that are going to be replacing us. So you're going to have to, I don't know what's going to happen to our hobby in the future, but I won't be around to know that. But while I'm alive, I'm going to keep our hobby alive, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to have fun, and it's going to be relaxation. But, so there is urgency involved. Offer all those sets immediately. Put them on a disc. Get those guys that do the little computer, service that you guys provide, which I don't really hear it's all that great. Get those guys and say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to create PDFs. We're going to create a web page with PDFs for all our seasons. We're going to put them for whatever, $20 or $25, and we're going to put all the seasons. We're going to have all the fringe players on cards, and we're going to start producing a couple more sets every year. And if guys want, we're gonna print them out and sell them as card sets. In other words, we'll have the PDF, and they can order the PDF, or they can offer the card set. Inside Pitch does it. If Inside Pitch does it and can succeed, so can you. You're not going to lose money by selling more. You're not going to lose money. The only thing you're going to stop doing is allowing people on eBay to gouge us. All right. That's what's going on. That's what's going to happen. You're protecting the people you say you care about, but I'm having my doubts as to whether you really care about your consumers. I think what you care about is your bottom line above all else. And you're afraid to take the step into a future because you don't know, what progress is going to bring. Right. And I can guarantee you that progress is inevitable. You're either going to sink or you're going to swim. And I believe if you have the community behind you, the other argument is that there's going to be a massive pirating ring that's going to take over, Stratomatic, and we're going to be selling pirated, versions of all their PDFs to each other for, it's just totally ignorant. It's totally backwards. Nobody's going to do that. We aren't crooks. We don't want to put companies out of business. You do work we don't want to do. And PDFs. ID Jester's talking to me about PDFs, and I respect that. And PDFs. Sometimes I have some PDFs. Okay. Sometimes I don't want to go through the hassle. I just don't want to do it. I have other things I'm doing, and I don't want to go through the hassle. I'd rather order the card set. I want that option. So you can do it. You can have a PDF, and if I say, you know what, I'm going to click on the card set, send me the card set. It's going to be $65, more than it is now. You're selling sets for $47. You're going to make more money on the card set, but I'm going to get a season that I want. All right, and when I wear it down, I'll get another season of the same season. I'll get 2 seasons. You don't have to have huge resale value for this stuff. It's ridiculous. Okay, this is not what this is about. This is, you're not flipping houses. I mean, it's a card set. It's $100, $200, $300, but it's ridiculous because there's no need for that. There's no need to have to wait and buy card sets without all the players. With 20 players, they're selling card sets with teams with 20 players. Where are you going to go with 20 players? Can't go anywhere with 20 players. Come on now. I mean, it's 2020. You need more than 20 players. It is what it is. So anyway, that's CP Cards and Dice, man. I hope you enjoyed the rant. I hope I'm respectful of a company that I think has a worthwhile product. And not every product or every company is perfect. Not every system is perfect. But I think it's really about I rolled a game of Stratomatic with my son the other day, and we were talking about baseball, and I was talking about the -2 hold, and he played baseball. I mean, he was a starter in varsity and that sort of thing. He's a ball player, and then we were talking about the -2 hold, and do you ever remember not holding guys? And he looked at me, and said, not really, because if we didn't hold them, they would be halfway to second base, and nobody would have a chance to throw them out. And I go, yeah, exactly. But again, it's high school ball, and there were some guys that everybody knew were really, really slow, and they stood on the bag. So maybe you didn't have to hold the guy that's standing on the bag. But major leaguers, I mean, they run down to first on average like 4 seconds. That's their average. So even the big, huge, 6'6" guy that's 260 pounds, he's running, a 4 second 60 to 90 feet. All right, to first base. So yeah, these guys are fast. So they're not. If you don't hold them on, they're not going to have 0 stolen bases. If you don't hold them on, they're going to have 12, 15, 17, 19 stolen bases. Even probably the slowest guys, because they're going to be taking a huge lead. And if you're not throwing over and you're not keeping them close, they're going to take a huge lead, and they're going to, by the time the catcher gets rid of the ball, they're sliding into second base. And we had that conversation. I said, that's what this is all about, man. This is what the game's all about, to spend time together, to talk baseball, and do what we did, growing up, have fun doing that. That's what it's all about. So does it really matter, what game we're playing? Not really. Some guys played these games like when they were kids, and they have a connection, an emotional connection to these games, because it was a different time, a different era. It was a peaceful time. It was a time when, for example, my parents were still alive. They were youthful, they were vigorous, they were working, and life was simple. And it brings me back to that time. Sometimes I wish I get into I could time travel. I could go back in time and relive some of those 70s, some of those 80s. It would be beautiful. And I think we do it through our games. I think that's a big part of what we do. We do it through our games, and it's a beautiful thing. And I think all the game companies in our community have a value. I have Status Pro, I have APBA, I have Stratomatic, ton of Stratomatic, payoff pitch, inside pitch, replay baseball, deep drive baseball, and I know a bunch of guys have other sets and other. I don't know right now if I can learn anything more for a while. I want to learn inside pitch really well, because I think I really like the interaction between the pitcher and the fielder, and then the ballpark. And it goes back and forth, back and forth. You never know what the result's going to be. It's really exciting. And for you guys that have not tried inside pitch, take a look at there's a bunch of tutorials out there. Delaware's got tutorials. ID Jester's got tutorials. I'm going to do tutorials as soon as I get really good with the game. I don't want to be have questions while I'm trying to teach the game. So I want to get really, really good. I want to play a game a day for a month. And if you watch my videos when I started out 2 weeks ago, and my videos now, I'm way, way, way better. So that says something about hey, we can learn new games. It's going to be bumpy. It's a little bit of a learning curve at the beginning, but stay with it, stick with it. There's a lot of guys that are willing to help us and guide us, and there's a lot of videos you can watch, and you can learn it. We can still learn, and it's fun to learn a new game. It really I don't know, it sparks your brain. It gets your brain going. It wakes up your brain. When you're learning something new, change is positive for your brain. It has to adjust, so it starts sparking neurons, and dendrites start reaching out, and all that fun stuff. So learn some new games, man. Don't be put that lab coat on, be a mad scientist like I did right here. I did APBA, fast APBA. That was cool. So my game, my game was like 20 minutes, and this is a 60-minute rant. So anyway, this is CP Cards and Dice. Guys, thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you for the support, and you continue to give me on Inside Pitch. ID Jester, the same. APBA Brian, thank you for stopping by. APBA Chatter, take care. And thank you for stopping by, guys. And I will be back. I believe I will be back shortly. It's 11 o'clock. I may be back at midnight. My son's bringing some chicken fingers, chicken strips from Wing Daddy's. It's a local place that we have. And I think I'm going to pop open a beer, and I may be back to play, but not sure because I woke up early. I had work today. And this is CP Cards and Dice. This is your alternative streaming network station channel streaming place for reviews, chat, new products, game design, tabletop strategy, anecdotes, player profiles, history, news, tutorials, books, tops, baseball cards, and rants. And this is CP Cards and Dice. And see you later, guys.